Ladies and gentlemen, you are currently in the loop with Max Wingrove. We're back here with Conrad.
What's happening?
And today, we are talking about something only 8% of the world has ever experienced. Sleep paralysis. We both had experiences. I think I've had a lot more than you, but the one time, or one of the few times you had it, it trumps everything.
Yeah.
It trumps everything I've ever experienced. And I pray to God I never, ever go down the road you did. No. The terrible thing that we all know as sleep paralysis. But before that, we got something. Well, this isn't. Every time we have a beverage, I always call it special. But I think this may be the peak.
Yeah. Well, for now.
Yeah. So.
Until we get like a lemonade or some shit.
You and we keep talking about lemonade.
Yeah.
I've never had it.
It's really good.
He's also never had it. He just likes to meme about it.
Yeah. I've had it. It's really fucking good.
Every time I hear lemonade, I just think of Mellow Yellow, which is Bob Marley's drink, whatever. We'll get to it someday, but today we have Lewis Hamilton's flavor of Monster Energy from Mexico.
Yes, exclusive from Mexico. I haven't seen it anywhere else other than there, so far at least. Like, at least not in Canada, so...
And you just went to Mexico. What part of Mexico was that?
It was, like, I don't know, 20 minutes out of Bucerias and 40 minutes from Puerto Vallarta. It was just like a resort.
And you found this amongst...
Yeah, we went to, like, there's these two giant shopping centers, like, literally right next to each other. It's for, like, kind of rich people of Mexico. It's kind of like, I don't know, like, the second one we went to was like a Whole Foods, and then the first one we went to was kind of like, I don't know how to say it, like Winco or something like that from the States.
The Winco or Costco?
Yeah, but it's less like industrial than that. It's very like easy to look at kind of thing.
Yeah. Why Lewis Hamilton?
I don't know. It was like they only at the Whole Foods place they only had 3 flavors, and it was the regular one, the zero sugar one, and then that. But at the Winco place, they only had just like the regular Monster and the zero sugar.
Things we've had a million times.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, without further ado, I can't crack it for some reason. I got it. No, I got it.
Be careful. Yeah. It's been on a plane. Remember that.
This has a lot of recycled air on it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different color already. It's more piss color.
It looks like
piss.
Beer.
Yeah, look at the froth head
like
here.
Regular Monster. I'll be extremely upset if it's just regular Monster.
As we all know, I'm terrible at tasting the difference, so you'll have to affirm that for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Alright.
Ooh, yeah. No, that has a strong smell.
Yeah.
But, cheers.
That is very similar to regular Monster.
Are you sure?
I guess it's kind of like Gronk, though.
It tastes really sweet.
It's more sweet than regular Monster, but like Gronk, the flavor Gronk, it was it's like regular Monster with some extra flavor thing or whatever they did. It's kind of like that, but it's more towards just regular Monster, honestly.
And Gronk has like the baseball players on it. Is it?
Football. American football.
Whoops.
Do you not know?
Dude, I just brushed past it in London Drugs.
No.
On my way to the Beaver Buzz. I don't exactly scan it. I've only seen it. I've only tasted it once, and I have no idea what it tastes like. Like, I don't remember the taste at all, but I like the taste.
It's good. Yeah,
it's good. Yeah.
It's brown. It's not green like Monster.
Monster's green?
Yeah.
What?
I think so, isn't it?
No.
No, maybe it's surely not.
Well, I don't know. I thought Red Bull was red. I thought frickin' Saskatoon Beaver Buzz was blue. Oh, look at this. It says 320 kilometers an hour on it. So that there must be some jazzy slogan on it.
Well, no, he's an F1.
He's an driver. F1, so
yeah.
Although it has no mention of Mercedes on here.
No, which is strange.
I grew up watching his races, and I never thought I'd be drinking an energy drink with his name on it.
Yeah, he's really good. So.
Yeah, he's a bit too good sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever my parents or at least my father's watching those races, and I look at who's actually winning, it's astounding that almost every time you'll see Sebastian Vettel or him or Fernando Alonso, the most cliche people at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
every
time, and it's actually and also like soccer. Like whenever I'd listen to everybody at school talk about who scored and whatnot, it would always just be the big names.
Yeah, it's Messi.
Freaking.
Oh, fucking smooth that. You just spilled for the audio listeners here. You just spilled.
Oh my god!
Copious amounts of Lewis Hamilton on his shorts, his pants.
I spilled Lewis Hamilton on myself.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like 20% went in my mouth, and then the other 80% went into my pants.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get to these stories. So, I've talked about sleep paralysis on my channel before. You can watch episode 3 for better context of those stories. I'm not gonna tell them again, just because they're long by themselves. But I will say, I think sleep paralysis is like one of my number one most hated things ever. Yeah, I can't stand it. And well, you know, at this point, it's just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just annoying. I've probably had it, I think 3 times in the past 2 months. I've never had it like that. Mostly because I've been working freaking 20-hour shifts and crap like that. Yeah, and I'm serious. 20-hour shifts will mess up your sleep schedule.
Yeah.
And that brings me to the science. So sleep paralysis is when you accidentally become conscious during your final stage of sleep, which is called REM sleep, or rapid eye movement. During this stage of sleep, which is commonly known as the dream phase, you are paralyzed in order to not act out your dreams. It's like if you're flying in your dreams, you don't accidentally jump off your deck.
Yeah.
So this creates the feeling of paralyzation because you are paralyzed. The causes of this are lack of sleep, inconsistent sleep schedules, sleep deprivation, eating before sleep, and sleeping on your back. I think, I don't know.
Literally, I do everything besides sleep on my back.
Exactly. I realized after reading that, I don't think I've ever slept on my back recently. Or from what I can remember, I'm an exclusive side sleeper.
Same.
I don't even. There's no good reason.
Right?
Oh, I switch.
Oh yeah.
I switch back and forth.
Hard left.
You're hard left.
I'm a hard leftist. Yeah. You heard it here first.
In every sense of the word.
No.
What did you say when I picked up the phone this morning? I was.
The goddamn libs. the leftist goddamn libs.
There you go. There's no good reason that I sleep on my sides either. I just don't find back very comfortable. It gets sore or something. I don't know. Okay, so the feeling of sleep paralysis is also horrible. Because I think the best word I can use to describe it is that you're claustrophobic about something. Like, okay, and that may be the wrong word because I'm not claustrophobic. Like, you could stick me in a school locker for 3 days, whatever. But for some reason, that just seems like the right word to use.
Yeah,
Can you think of a better word?
It is. It almost has a constant looming sense of dread.
Oh, yeah.
It's like... is a good way to describe the feeling. Like, you know something really, really bad is about to happen, but you can't do anything.
No. Exactly. Like, you are literally paralyzed.
Yeah.
And usually people are still half asleep. I've heard stories of people who are like completely awake.
Yeah.
Like solve algebra awake, but they're paralyzed. That's never happened to me, thankfully. How about you?
No, that doesn't happen to me yet.
So I'll get into I'll only tell one story. It's happened 3 times to me recently, but I'll only tell the best one. And this happened Sunday?
Really?
Yeah.
That recently?
Yeah. This one took the cake.
Damn.
So I could tell this story like one of those dramatic horror story readers, like
Yeah.
Darkness Prevails or Let's
Yes.
Read. But I'm going to keep this more chill and lighthearted, just like I'm telling you guys in person.
Yeah, until mine comes.
Yeah, until yours comes in. Holy crap. And bear with me here, because there's a lot of elements to this story that overlap, mostly because everything just happens spontaneously. And I want to try to fit in every detail. So anyway, this happened midday Sunday. I was taking a nap at my grandma's after we had some lunch. I was like helping her move some stuff.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I this is why I hate napping. So when I woke up, like half woke up, I immediately saw something strange. And this is what I saw. Put your hand over your face like this with your fingers pointing downwards over your eyes. That's what it looked like. Like, fingers spread apart, though, like this, yeah.
Really?
And I was like, why is my hand on my face? So I tried to move my hand, but of course I couldn't.
No.
And I immediately knew what was going on.
Oh.
My hand wasn't actually on my face. I just hallucinated that. My hand was actually down by my side. But
What-
still, it prompted
did
me.
It feel like there was something there, or was it like
No.
it was just like
It just looked like a hand was right here.
really?
And that prompted me to try to move, but I couldn't move.
Ooh.
And let me say again, the feeling of not being able to move sucks. It sucks so bad.
Yeah.
I can't even like fully describe it. It's just you gotta just experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's not even like it feels like you're being held down. It's like something is wrong, like a chemical
Yeah.
is like wrong with your body. Now this has happened to me like 55 times already, and I was not about to become paralysis chop meat again. I knew, even though I was half asleep, that I was experiencing paralysis again, and that I should just wait till it's over. During this time of waiting, I also felt like I was flying. It was like I was shooting into the sky constantly at a really fast rate. Of course, I was staying perfectly still, though, because I've heard of people saying that they thought they were flying through space, and I can totally believe that, because it's like I was just going
Yeah.
like
okay.
it felt like I was shooting up into the sky. I can't explain it any other way.
Yeah.
There was also a very loud ringing sound,
Oh,
like a grenade had just blown up.
like a flashbang
like-
kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was like, and I was experiencing like some weird sleeping pain again. I don't know why, but I could handle that. After what seemed like a minute, I started to get a little bit more anxious, but of course, I remembered all the YouTube videos I've watched on this, and I stayed remarkably calm. Like, I was actually thinking about those videos
As you were.
as I was experiencing this.
That's pretty funny.
The biggest tip they always tell you is that you should try wiggling your fingers and toes and your tongue
Yeah.
to try to break out of it.
Yeah.
Now, in this half dream state at first, when I was like, oh yeah, do that, it felt like I was able to do everything. Like, I was like, oh, my fingers are moving, until I opened my eyes and I was like, nope.
No.
I'm still
Yeah.
frozen.
I'm sleep.
I was dreaming inside of a dream, like
Yeah.
Inception style.
Oh.
So I continue. It's not that bad yet. It's more like, here we go again, but this is a little weirder than usual. So I continue to try to attempt to move. There is also a weird rubbing / whispering sound that was blasting into my right ear. Like, I was
like
at-
static almost.
it sounded like whispering, but I was like, is that just my ear rubbing or something?
Yeah. Oh, so it's like somebody's taking like a piece of clothing and going like
Yeah.
that next to your ear.
Yeah, it sounded a little like talking, and I was like, just ignore the hell out of that, so I did. But no matter how much I ignored and stayed calm, I couldn't break it this time. So, what's the best thing to do? I started yelling from my grandma, who's in the next room sleeping on her bed. Now, the first time I tried to do this, for some reason, I thought that I was just like, I heard myself scream vividly, and she came into the room. Of course, none of this was happening. I was tripping. I did not scream, nor did she actually come into the room. But when my dream implied that she did, she asked me what was wrong, and halfway through me being like, I can't move, she just dipped.
She left. She's like,
I was like,
"Alright."
what the hell? Come back! Oh my god. And so after that, I was like, all right, just go back to what you were doing. So I waited a little while longer, still half asleep, still not moving. I'm getting mad now. I actually remember being like, this is stupid. This was going on so long, and I was getting so uncomfortable. So I tried calling out for her again. Now, I realized that I was dreaming before, because all that came out was like,
It was kind of like just gurgling.
yeah. So I realized that I was dreaming while I was dreaming. It's just so crazy. And man, that sucked. Have you ever tried to scream your loudest without anything coming out? Not only is it scary, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Plus, I knew I had my eyes closed before, and I was like, oh yeah, I was dreaming. So like a dumbass, I opened my eyes. Now this is where it starts getting scary. My grandma enters the room for a second time, and she's wearing like different clothing. She's wearing like red and black now. Before she was just wearing like a sweater or something.
Yeah.
She's wearing like a red shirt and black pants that like drag behind her, and I was like, what is this? I don't know, it looked like some weird 80s clothing.
Yeah. Oh, like bell bottom kind of thing.
Something like that. And she was... So, and then she sits down in this chair that's beside the couch that I was on. And she answers to nothing I say.
Just kinda sits there.
She just smiles at me.
Oh.
And just keeps smiling. And you remember that shot from the It Chapter 2 trailer?
Yeah.
Of the lady who just freezes and goes like... Yeah, it was exactly like that. Only I was going like... It was exactly like that. So only she didn't jump at me. She didn't turn into a demon. But she points to something. She goes like this. Like points very slowly to something in front of me. Because I'm looking to the left. So I turn my gaze to whatever in front of me. And I see this random dude. I don't know who this dude is.
Yeah.
He comes in with like a candle holder.
Oh.
Like a long Jewish candle holder.
Oh, yeah? Like, really?
He runs at me and cracks me over the face with it. I don't know who this guy was. I don't know why he had a candle holder. He just ran at me and went...
Prairie this, you filthy casual.
Oh, yeah, it's a good reference. Now, you'd think I'd wake up like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, like...
Yeah.
No, I went back into sleep.
Bruh.
I went back into sleep. I went unconscious. Yeah, exactly. And this was very vivid hallucination. Like there is I can't really tell the difference between reality kind of thing. And when I woke up for real, I checked the time and I'd only been sleeping for 45 minutes, so I don't know how long this went on.
Really? Well, usually, like it says, it's at the very end of your REM cycle. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd assume it would only last about maybe half an hour or so. Most dreams are only a few seconds long. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, like you know how Avatar was a dream that.
He was inside the reality machine.
Yeah, exactly. That how long that dream was probably so short, but he made a 3-hour movie out of it, right? So that's kind of I think applies to not lucid dreaming, sleep paralysis as well, just because it would be so short. But my only wonder is how in the fuck did you manage to get into REM in 45 minutes?
right, yeah. I don't know, only 45 minutes, or it may have been a little longer, but for some reason, it's just I've been having like such a terrible sleep schedule.
Yeah.
That it was like, I don't know. It's like I injected myself with some shite before I slept. Yeah. It's like just sped up everything, and I was like, ugh.
That's weird.
Yeah, and like when I woke up, my grandma at the same time woke up, and she came out into the kitchen, and I was just like, "Do I have lunch here?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Were you in the room with me?" And then she was like just 10 minutes ago, she's like, "No, I was sleeping." Like, so you didn't come and sit beside me in a chair.
Really?
And she was like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, thank God."
Yeah, that would not have been...
I didn't check my face for wounds or anything from the candlestick, because I knew that wasn't real.
Pimples, boy.
It was what?
So ugly ass pimples, boy.
I told you.
Yeah, I know.
I told
Still
you. I
going
said
through puberty, bad.
I said ignore my face decay. Anyway, so compared to, I'd say that is worse than, you remember the sleeping bag story?
Yeah. Well, that one didn't seem too bad.
No.
It was just kind of like strange.
And I was more asleep during that one than this one. And this was the most vivid hallucinations I've ever had. And also the most terrifying ones. Like, I haven't seen my grandma since. I'm kind of scared to. No, I'm joking.
You're going cracky in the head.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't gotten... Here's the things I haven't gotten in my dream, in paralysis. I haven't seen an incubus, which is the thing that sits on your chest.
Yeah.
Or a tall man, or a hat man, or aliens, or a straight up demon. Yeah. But this was scary enough either way. And by the way, that's why people always say they're abducted, is because of sleep paralysis, and they think aliens out in their in their room.
Yeah.
But I'll finish with, I think the one that's actually worse is still that clock dream, because it's the fact that I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was gonna suffocate.
Yeah, that would be. That
Yeah.
That would not have been enjoyable at all.
And I think at the time, I didn't know what sleep paralysis was. I knew exactly what was happening this time.
Yeah.
I remember the YouTube videos during my dreams.
That's pretty funny.
So I didn't know what was going on before, so I just thought I was dying. I think the moral of the story here is that you should also never open your eyes.
No.
Never do that. I don't know why I did. I don't know why I did. Because even if your eyes like are not open really, don't be like, okay, I'm gonna think that I'm gonna open my eyes. Because even if you can't open your eyelids, your brain will still trick you into thinking, because it knows what the room looks like.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a place you've been a million times.
Yeah.
It just makes your subconscious think of the most messed up things possible. So I don't think this is gonna be the last time I experience this, especially with my freaking schedule with sleep and work. And I have yet to get all the demons and witches and aliens. Like, am I a bit curious as to what that's like? No, not even in the slightest freaking fabric of my human DNA. Screw that. But there is still one thing that messes with me, is that only 8% of the population, like of the world, apparently experiences this.
Very, very little.
And it's insane to think that we are a part of that 8%.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be more.
I don't know, honestly, because it's so rare. Like, it's so rare for it to happen. And the thing is it's a reoccurring thing with people. Right,
so the rarity of it is in, like, the amount of people.
Yeah.
But it can happen a million times.
Yeah, so only 8% of the world can experience it, but that 8% can experience it multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Case in point, moi. I haven't ever had vision dreams or whatever. Or, like...
I'll get into more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I'm also... Here's my last statement. I am never, ever, ever going to say that sleep paralysis is my greatest fear. No. I'm not giving it that satisfaction. It's not, also. Yeah. And it doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve that label. You know what? I could have it tonight. Bring it on. Yeah. Bring it on, okay?
Are you sure?
No, I'm serious. I'm serious, all right? What's the worst that's going to happen? I'll piss my pants?
That's true. Yeah.
That's still pretty bad, but...
shouldn't come.
Oh my gosh. With that, I'm going to take a... So look at that. Try not to die. Again. And I think we should move on to your story, sir.
Yeah.
Because this one, it's a bit of a lengthy story compared to mine.
Yeah.
But it's also it's the definition of nightmare fuel, because when you told me the story, I don't know, a month
You
ago.
said I'm not gonna sleep.
I didn't
tonight.
sleep. I didn't. I just laid on this couch all night.
I know. And you told my dad we were up till 7 a.m.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
What?
That's what my dad said.
I might have
He
told him
got
that.
pissed at me, and I was like, no.
I might have told him that I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Because when your brother came into the room when it was really light outside, and he said how was your sleep, and I was just like non-existent.
Yeah.
Cause of your stupid brother. like also my phone was at 10% when you went to bed.
Yeah.
And for some reason I conserved battery all the way through the night because I didn't want to get up and touch my charger.
Yeah.
My charger was over there,
Yeah,
5 feet away from me. Screw that.
Yeah, like, nah.
Oh man. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break here, and I'll plug my fake sponsor. Or my fake ad and whatnot. Actually, check that out, by the way. I put the ad there for a reason. Check it out.
They're good memes.
It's not a good meme. It's a family business, you son of a bitch. I'm joking. It's kind of a meme now. I'm making a meme out of my uncle's business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyway, we'll be back. Have you ever looked at your living room and thought, it's kind of empty in here? Have you ever wanted to buy a piece of furniture that didn't look like it came from the discount section at the Brick? Well, get on over to Vancouver Reclaimed. Custom wood furniture made from only the most beautiful reclaimed wood. From a coat rack, to custom signage, to a kitchen makeover. There is no better place to get handcrafted wood furniture made with the best reclaimed materials. So get on over to www.vancouverreclaimed.com. That's www.vancouverreclaimed.com. Link will be in the description.
Did you catch
Jesus
that?
Christ, I almost caught this man sneezing as violently as he could right into my face.
I didn't even mean to. I just went down.
Every
and then
molecule that just sprayed out of your fucking mouth landed. Oh my god. All over me.
Sorry, Pops.
Well, at least we get to enjoy another drink from Mexico.
Yes.
Pepsi White. Or Black. Sorry.
That is not white.
And there's another Pepsi called Pepsi Crystal, which is like clear Pepsi. I have had that. It was apparently like really, really old and expired, and it was in like a shed.
Have you ever seen the video enjoying a 20-year-old Pepsi Max or Pepsi Crystal?
Man, this is guy vomit.
Just wait. Just instant.
You had it right there, and that's the thing that I'm talking about.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
That's the thing that I drank.
It's such a.
Only that wasn't my reaction.
He chugged it. He drank the whole bottle.
The 2 liter.
No, it's like a 1 liter.
Oh. I see.
He just full on pulled it back. It wasn't carbonated.
He did what you did outside of A&W with a freaking Mountain Dew.
2 liter. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, jeez.
Drank a whole liter of it straight up and just started yakking. That was hilarious.
Let's see. All right, no expiry date on this.
It's new. Anyway, let's get this open and continue on the podcast.
All right, here we go. Now, I will say that looks no different from regular Pepsi. But it's the flavor that counts. And I also don't remember what Pepsi tastes like. Or Coke right now.
That's a lot better than regular Pepsi.
It is?
It is, yeah. It's like...
Really?
Yeah, it's got like more syrup in it. So it's a bit stronger of a taste.
More diabetes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
More beaties, you know? So...
because the flavor of Pepsi, apparently I read up on this, is like vanilla and some sort of berry?
Yeah.
Berry vanilla, and then the flavor of Coke. I'm going to look this up right now. says the taste of Coca-Cola is vanilla and cinnamon. Okay, well, okay. So that's Coke, and then is citrus. What?
Citrus.
Excuse me.
So vanilla.
So raisiny vanilla. Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Okay, when I yeah, and I've been eating a lot of Raisin Bran lately, so I can.
You know, all bran is only
Totally not
78% bran.
All bran?
All bran is only 78%.
Hell's all bran?
What you've been eating? Raisin Bran is bran.
Yeah.
The bran in it is only 78% bran. It's not all bran. It's false marketing. The rest is fillers and other things. I think I mentioned this.
Well, yeah. I bet the rest of it is like some sort of starch.
Yeah.
Some
corn or something like that. But still, dude, if you're labeling it as all bran, it should be all bran. That's the only ingredient.
Nah, man.
Bran.
When I say all, I'm always thinking of 40%.
Yeah.
Or however much you said.
That's true.
You know, if my mom's like, do all the dishes, I'm like, all right.
All right, does like 25%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Boom.
Enough.
We've just debunked their mindsets.
Yeah.
I will say, I wish I had Pepsi, like regular Pepsi, beside it.
To try it with it.
I think you're right. I think it is like, it's either sweeter or it's got a smoother taste or something. Yeah. I can't say that it's better or not because I have no point of comparison.
That's true.
I would say,
I can't really say that either.
I would say if someone said stop drinking Pepsi though and drink this instead, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't drink Pepsi enough either way.
I drink a lot of Pepsi.
Oh, you do?
Pepsi's my preferred brand.
Ooh.
My mother hates it and she likes Coke, and I don't know why because they taste like next to exactly.
Yeah, right. I think I have found the difference between Coke and Pepsi though. Like there's a tiny difference. I think the flavoring that we've just figured out actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think so too.
But either way, okay. So time for your tale of just absolute horrifying nightmare fuel every oh god.
So
I'm kind of nervous to hear it again.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna the imagery.
I'm gonna be paraphrasing it a lot. Like I'm not gonna tell the whole story because I think how long was it? An hour and a half that I told it to you.
Oh, probably something like that. Mostly because I was like, let's take a break.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
But I think now that I've heard it once, I don't think I'm gonna be as scared.
No.
Hearing it.
It's just crazy. Like it's nothing really bad happened. It was just very strange.
Nothing bad happened.
Nothing. Well, no. I didn't get harmed. Bro? Nothing happened. Like in my dream, I didn't get harmed. I didn't get like whatever. Nothing
you didn't get a candlestick cracked over your face.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair.
It was just more of like terror, just constant terror.
And I think. Well, anyway, yeah. You just get in. Just get.
I'll get into it. So anyway, the first time I had sleep paralysis,
Oh, sorry. One more thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to preface this before. This story actually is quite disturbing.
Yeah.
For the squeamish.
Yeah. It's
listen at your own risk.
It's not really gory.
No.
It's just you know how
it's just unsettling.
It's constantly unsettling. It's like the overwhelming feel of dread. The constant overwhelming feel of dread. That's exactly what went on the whole story.
Right.
So it was just very strange.
And this didn't, as you said, this didn't, I don't think came from anything.
No.
There's nothing wrong with you. I just think this is just something that your brain manifested.
Yeah. So I'll just say, first time I had sleep paralysis, I'm a regular horror enthusiast. I really enjoy listening to like, Darkness Prevails, or that kind of thing. I enjoy that, and I play Minecraft with it. I just have fun. And I like hearing creepy stories. Anyway, first time I had it, I learned from everything there that you just don't open your eyes.
So you had already known that?
Yeah, I already knew it.
Oh. And what age was this?
The first one was a long time ago. I can't remember exactly when, but it was probably like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something like that. It was a while ago.
So you were in grade
8.
something like that.
Yeah, 8 or 9, I can't remember exactly. Anyway, I was under a lot of stress, so I think that's what really triggered it. Just because either if it was grade 8, then it was going into high school. If it was grade 9, it was starting high school. So it was kind of freaky, stressful time for me, as it is for most people around that age.
It's the transition phase.
Exactly, right. So anyway, the first time that happened, I just didn't open my eyes. I just kind of sat there and wrote it out. Nothing happened, and then I woke up and I was like, all I knew is that I was under sleep paralysis because I couldn't.
Okay.
I was awake,
Yeah.
but I couldn't move, and as soon as I tried wiggling my fingers, that kind of thing, I was like, all right, no, you're just not gonna open your eyes now. And I was like, all right.
Wow. All right.
That happened.
You tackled it pretty quick.
Yeah, I did. But of course, the horror enthusiast in me, now, because I wasn't crazy into it then, but I knew about sleep paralysis, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a horror enthusiast, and I really enjoy creepy shit. So anyway, this time I decided to open my eyes. This was a while ago.
Man.
But it was 2019, I believe.
What?
Or, yeah.
Are you freaking serious?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What? I thought this was like 4 or 5 years ago.
No.
I know the first time was 4 or 5 years ago, but I thought this was relatively around the same time.
No.
Oh my god.
Really, it was quite a bit later. It was either mid 2019 to late 2018. Is around that time.
Holy shit.
So grade 11, 12, that kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, so I think it was actually, I think it was the start of grade 12 that it goofed me up because it was my final year in high school and I was under a lot of stress. If you know me personally, I don't really deal with stress at all. I never really get it.
Yeah.
I'm generally a pretty chill person, even in extremely stressful circumstances. But,
that is true.
It's just when I'm starting something like school or whatever, because I don't like school. I just have to prepare myself for it. Anyway, so to start the dream off, I opened my eyes because I wanted to know, right? I wanted to know what it was like if I was just going to have some stupid little dream, like what Max had with his sleeping bag, that kind of thing.
Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
So you knew that you I thought you opened your eyes because you were unknowing of what was actually about to happen.
No.
So you were experimenting here.
Yeah, I was experimenting. Even now, I'm not really affected by it. It's just the fact that it was something so foreign to me. It just chilled me to my core. Like it was really strange. Anyway, to start the dream off, I woke up and my brain, obviously knowing my room because I was asleep in my room. Basically, I just kind of I woke up, looked around, and then I realized like, oh well, I'm definitely in sleep paralysis now. So anyway, I looked around my room, and basically what happened was my door. This is the start of the dream. So
dude, oh my god.
If you don't fancy horror, I'd probably step away now.
Can I step away too?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So anyway, the door would like open, but my door would like slowly open, and myself knowing my own room, it doesn't do that. It's like really sticky door, so it's hard to open slowly. So anyway, it opened all the way. It took probably like 30 seconds to open the damn door.
Oh, that's terrible.
Right, so it's just already excruciatingly long.
And you didn't hear anything.
No.
Also, this
No.
was a muted.
This is
a muted
absolutely
night
mute.
terror. You also didn't hear. So you didn't hear that.
No.
Okay.
My door doesn't really do that anyway,
Okay, yeah.
but it's just at some points it'll squeak. But that cued me off. Like I can't hear anything right now because I would have heard those few spots where if you open it enough, it squeaks.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that happens, and then after a few more seconds, I just see like
Oh, dude.
So
no.
my parents' room is open already,
Yeah.
and it's right next to if you know my house, it's right next to my room.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just see everything's black as well. It's not like it's light out or something like that. Everything's very dark, but it's still like slightly lit, which is very strange because that's not really how my room is.
Yeah.
It's like easy to see defining features, but it's still overwhelmingly dark. Anyway, so in my parents' room, I just see right at the very corner top of the door frame, I see just like two eyes. That's it, right? And I'm looking there, and then
Like
what?
white little
Like
white eyes.
pinprick kind of size,
Yeah.
very small. So anyway, I kept looking at him like, what the hell is that? So anyway, it just kind of like appeared there.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't wink into existence. I looked away and then looked back, and then it was there. So anyway, I was like, what the hell is that? Because it was the brightest thing in my room. There was nothing else brighter than those two white dots.
Yeah.
So I started looking around to see if anything else was happening. Anyway, they started getting closer, and I was like, "Well, this sucks."
Yeah, right. And because, like, were you were mostly thinking about what you were seeing?
Yeah.
Like, and you would the fact that you were like frozen
Mm-hmm.
kind of took a back seat because
Yeah.
of the hallucinations, but it's all a package deal, of course.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I saw that happening, and anyway, I just kept looking around, but they kept getting closer.
Yeah.
And then I realized once he stepped into my room. So this is the dreaded tall man everybody hears about. Anyway, for me, it's different for everybody. Myself, I think it's his height depends on your height.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big guy, right? So I'm very tall compared to most other people. So anyway, this guy was like fucking 10 feet tall.
Exactly.
Bro. This was a big man. He was very skinny and that kind of thing, but my roof is 8 feet.
It is. Yeah.
The height of my ceiling is 8 feet tall.
No.
So anyway, he walks in and his back is on the ceiling and his head is hunched down. So this guy's like 10 feet tall.
He's having to hunch.
He's having to hunch over so that he doesn't hit his back on the wall. Never mind his head.
And if you want a more of a vivid imagery here, you said it's almost like Jack Skeleton with no features, completely black.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably the best description I can give of him. Anyway, he's got super thin legs, super thin arms, that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, he is a very skinny but very tall guy. Anyway, I realized around that time when he entered my room that the only time he can move is when I'm looking away. But at that point, he only takes about a step. He doesn't take more than a step when I do that. So anyway, I was trying to like figure this out. Anyway, I just kept kind of looking at him and then looking around again, but then he'd take another step.
Yeah, so if you've ever seen Doctor Who...
Yeah.
This is what you mentioned last time.
Yeah, the weeping angels.
As soon as you mentioned this, when you were telling me before, my heart was like...
Yeah.
Because it's a weeping angel kind of thing.
So yeah, weeping angels from Doctor Who, they're basically malicious beings that are statues. So, but when you look at them, they do not move. But when you look away from them, they will move.
Mm-hmm.
But they're extremely bloodthirsty, very bad. As I learned later in this, the like I said earlier, the tall man is not a malicious being, for at least in my case.
Yeah.
So anyway, got to the point where because I knew my room so well, it basically he walked in and stood right beside my bed on my left side, which is away from the wall. Anyway, he just kind of stood there, and was looking down at me, but I couldn't see his face anymore, but I knew he wouldn't move. So I had this kind of consciousness that I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, which blew my mind. Like, it's almost like you were playing a game or something.
Yeah,
like,
it was a game that was forced upon me that I have no control over. I only know the opponent's next to move kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Right.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yo, you played Sleep Paralysis like chess.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't have any pawns.
You had nothing.
I had one pawn.
You were the last pawn there.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, that happened. It was... Yeah, the little girl was next. So for me, I don't really have many fears. Honestly, I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of heights at all. I go cliff diving. I have no fear of speed. I'm an absolute speed demon. I just don't really have any. But one of my only fears is demonic little children. That's really it.
Which I think is pretty fair amongst most people.
Yeah. So, but it's like it's very prevalent in things that I just highly dislike. It's just demonic little children. I don't know if that's a fear of children itself, but I don't know.
Well, I just think that's like one of the more popular horror staples, and I think it's completely justified to be afraid of a little kid that looks like it could suck your soul right out of your freaking body. Like.
Anyway, continuing on. So basically, next, the little girl came in. She was holding I can't remember what it was. A stuffed animal. Anyway, she walks over to the right corner of my bed and just stares at me. That's it. The tall man is still to my left, still staring down at me.
And so at this point, also, have you kind of forgotten that you were paralyzed?
Yeah. So
you were just kind of watching and just trying to survive.
Yeah, I was just observing.
You were observing,
just seeing what carnage would unfold.
Which you know what? That differs from a lot of people's experiences.
Yeah.
Because not only are they not this long, but they are usually mostly filled with trying to get up and move.
Yeah.
But you were like...
I was like riding this out. The reason is like I said before, I'm an avid horror fan. So this is my shit.
But at the same time, you wanted to die.
Yeah, exactly. I was scared out of my ass, but that doesn't happen very often for me, right? So that's why I kind of just let it happen. Anyway, and the biggest fear that was going on the entire time was the fact that I could not hear a thing. Oh. So World War III could be going on outside my house, and I'd have no clue, right? Oh. So that's one thing that kind of stuck with me the whole time. That was one of the more freaky things to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, she came in, just stood by the bed, didn't really do anything. And then I think it was the dog was next. Doesn't really matter, honestly. But basically, there's this dog that was like, it was like a feral dog, but it was like rotting, and like had skin exposed and all that kind of weird
zombie dog
looking thing.
Hellhound.
So anyway, yeah, hellhound kind of. I don't know if you've ever seen a feral mongrel in Fallout 4 or Fallout 3. It's very similar to that. Anyway, throw a picture up or whatever if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically, that's kind of what it looked like to me, but there's only one. But basically, it came up and jumped on my bed and sat at my feet and like laid down, kind of looking at me too. But like it was. I could obviously see it was sentient. No collar, nothing like that. It was just like a dog.
And they moved with like fluidness. They didn't move like a weeping angel though.
No.
Okay.
No. They just, both the child and the dog, they just came and walked in like regular things. It's just the tall man that was like a weeping angel. Anyway, so that happened, and then there was this lady that came in that was in like a wedding dress, but it was all torn up, and it had chains and stuff on it too. Like, it was very strange, and out of place compared to most of the creatures in my room already, because like most of them were intact and regular looking, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The girl was in like a white, like a, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
white gown, yeah.
Annabella dress kind of thing. So it was very strange that this woman was in a torn up, bloody wedding dress with chains on. She was also a floating being and slightly transparent. But like I could tell that she was like able to touch things. Like you know how ghosts phase through things.
Yeah.
This one I knew it was like it was able to, like, if I was to kick a soccer ball at it, it would catch it, kind of thing.
Yeah, you just have this knowledge, but you don't necessarily know where it came from.
No, exactly. So I just kind of have this going on in my head, knowing that these things are there, but and these things can happen, but I don't know why, and I don't know how. Anyway, so that happened. She came in, kind of went to my far right. Anyway, it's kind of fuzzy at this point, because this is everything's very vivid until about this point, because they were all just kind of there, and they were just standing there for a long time, and then I think it was the woman who left first, but basically, yeah, right. This is what happened. The tall man started moving again, but I didn't notice because I was looking everywhere else. So, anyway, so he started walking away from me, towards like the foot of my bed. Kept going. The dog had eyes on him the whole time. He was constantly looking at him. But of course, the tall man does not move in fluid motion like everything else did. No. So I was looking back and forth. I was just trying to get him out of my damn room because I thought he was going to leave. Anyway, he did not. He went to the other side of my bed, with the girl on it, and basically what happened is he picked her up and then handed her to the woman in the dress and all that.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so in the by the way, the dog, I feel like his entire presence was like, he was helpful because I knew everything. Yeah, my protection. Everything else in the room I knew was threatening and like malicious, that kind of thing. I knew they were, but I knew the dog I could count on. Anyway, so that happened, and I could feel like sounds were happening. So like the jingle of the chains.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I could feel it happening, but I couldn't hear it. Right? Like I knew the sounds were there, but I just couldn't comprehend the sounds. So anyway, the tall man lifts up and gives the child to the woman, who I assume was her mother, but a long deceased mother of some sort, and the girl was just stranded on her own or something like that.
I love how there's a narrative.
Yeah, I know. It's very strange. I should have looked up and seen if there was like a tube in my head that just streamed knowledge from a computer.
Someone found a way to like plug Netflix into your brain.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, so that happened. And then the woman and the girl left. Like I said, I'm paraphrasing a lot of this. There could be a lot more content to this, but I just kind of like try to keep it short.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that happened, and then basically coming to the end of the dream, they closed the door when they left. But of course, it was not in a fluid motion. It was in that slowly 30-second agonizing creak closed.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then basically I was just left with the dog and the tall man. So,
oh, what? Okay, I thought they were all gone.
No.
Okay, all right. So the tall man's still there.
The tall man's still there, and the dog is still at my feet. The dog is looking over at the tall man, kind of like worriedly, like he's gonna do something. And at that point, I was like, well, shit's about to get real.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, I remember it was about to happen.
So, anyway, I just look over at the tall man, and he's just staring down at me. His back's still rubbing against the goddamn ceiling. His head peering down at me. Eyes locked on me, that kind of thing. Anyway, I just start looking around again because I know I can't do anything. I'm paralyzed. Mm-hmm. I tried moving at that point, but I knew I just couldn't. Because I just wanted to get out of the room of the tall man. Anyway, so that happened. And, so I started looking around back and forth towards him and away from him so he could move. So anyway, he moved down. And so he, like, squatted on his back legs, and then he put his arms on my bed. At this point, I did not think anything malicious of him. I did not think he would harm me in any way or something like that. I just thought of him as a being that was present and was only there to instill fear.
He was an intruder.
Yeah, he was scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude was kind of whack, right? So,
dude was kind of whack.
Yeah, he was kind of whack. So anyway, he started getting onto my bed, which at that point I was like, oh fuck, like this is the end. This is it. I'm gonna die now. Anyway, he got onto my bed, laid down, his ginormous legs hanging off the bed, like his entire calves are hanging off the bed.
Dude, that's horrible imagery. Oh my god.
Anyway, he just starts scooting closer. He put a pillow down on the bed a while ago as well. Second one for him. I only sleep with one pillow. And anyway, he goes down and just kind of pulls the covers over himself and just stays there and stares at me, right next to my ear. And the dog was like whimpering, and he was like scared. And I was like, "Well, do something about it then."
Yeah.
Like with the dog didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was around the end of my dream. I just kind of sat there and in pure fear that the tall man was there, because I could feel his breath on my
oh god,
my neck, but I couldn't hear it or anything like that.
Yeah, and you also, when he got closer, he didn't have any features still.
No, he was just black. He was just straight the shade of black.
Yeah.
With just two eyes.
And you said something interesting about the eyes. You said they were like little pinholes of eyes, but for some reason they illuminated the room.
They were the only bright thing around.
Yeah.
So I could always keep track of him no matter what.
But yet they were small little lights.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of thing that you can only understand in your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, I can't imagine that, but I know what kind of thing you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like if somebody took a black box that was completely sealed off, and then just like poked two holes in it, and then shone a super bright LED in the box.
Okay.
And then it was just those 2 points of light, and that's it. So that happened, and that was what he kind of looked like, but he was fucking 10 feet tall. So anyway, at that point, I woke up after the dream. I kind of like went back into REM or whatever for like a minute or two, and then I woke up. So anyway, what scared me the most is the fact that the tall man the entire time, I didn't touch too much on this because it gets really long if I do. Basically, it looked like he knew my room. Like he's been there before, right? Which was very scary, because it doesn't really happen. But my theory is that he appeared in my original one, my first one, a long time ago, 5 years ago. But I just didn't open my eyes.
Shit! God!
Right.
That's
so he could have been there the whole time, and he just knew my room. And walked around. I just didn't know.
Jesus Christ!
So that's what scared me.
You have stories being unfolded through these awful nightmares.
And then also I woke up. When I woke up, I looked down at my feet, and my dog was there. And that was like almost assuring for me that he was in fact a good spirit, a good dog.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy about. I mean, because like he's my dog. I wouldn't want him to eat my face off.
Well, I think most of the reason that the dog wasn't a threatening figure at like as the dream went along is because you have a dog.
Yeah, probably.
That sticks his nose out for you.
Yeah, even though he's shit sometimes, you know. No, but I just I was very thankful for my dog at that point because of the traumatizing events. Anyway, I woke up. There was no second pillow. If there was, I probably would have left my house and never returned.
Because the tall man had picked up a pillow and put it beside you to sleep next to you.
Yeah, because I only sleep with one pillow, right? So if that were to happen, I honestly I would have said, "Mom, I'm moving.
I'm living with Max. I'm just gonna chill in his basement.
I'm not gonna live here anymore." So anyway, that happened. But yeah, I woke up and I was generally refreshed. I had a good night of sleep. Just because I had lack of sleep, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Lots of stress. I woke up feeling good, but scared shitless.
Yeah.
So.
I thought you felt horrible because it was also a Monday.
It was a Monday, but like I didn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
As always, but I was very upset that it was a Monday because I could have taken a day to recuperate after that.
Yeah.
But. It was better, I guess, that I didn't because I just kind of got back into life. I haven't had a dream since then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's deconstruct some of the things that you've said.
I also want to touch on my.
You can talk about your vision dreams in just a second. So there was two things that I remember. One is that. From when you told me last time. One is that the dog came in, and at first you didn't trust the dog because the dog was on its freaking hind legs.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like I was saying, I can't like completely recall everything because it's getting fuzzy now because it's older. The only reason I know a lot of the vivid details is mostly because of the tall man being the ringleader being that he is.
Yeah.
That's really it. Otherwise, I don't really remember. That's why I didn't describe the child and the woman in a wedding gown very well because I just don't remember enough about them. It's just because I'm too focused on the tall man.
Yeah, and rightfully so. But there's also one thing about the woman. You said that at one point she looked at you and all her decaying features were gone.
Oh yeah, right.
She was just like a beautiful woman.
Yeah, and then I looked back and she was just back to normal.
Whatever normal was.
Whatever. Oh yeah, well it was like decaying face, bad, like zombie looking shit.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that did happen. I'm just gonna say again, like I said, I just can't remember everything anymore, because a lot in life's happened since then as well, like graduation, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it was that did happen, and yeah, when she looked back, when she looked at me, her features were gone, and she was smiling, and she had like. A greenish blue color eyes, very little makeup on, and she looked like she was ready for a wedding, and then when you look back, she's dead and not.
Dude, that's symbolism. That's straight up symbolism for something.
Yeah,
she may have been going into an already dead marriage.
Oh, that's true.
See, this is so much more interesting than having like. A Jew come at you and freaking knock you out with a candlestick. What is that supposed to be? Nothing. You got a narrative. You got a saga.
That's it.
Oh, I never even thought about that. Do I have any friends who are Jews? I don't think I do.
Hope not.
Not that I know.
I'm just kidding. I feel like there's gonna be like an imminent doom for that if I come across another one. I feel like it's gonna be a lot more scary, a lot worse than the one that already happened. But like I said, I haven't had one since, so we'll see if it perseveres or not. Maybe it's just a thing of stress. So
maybe. You know, I think if you don't sleep like you don't do, like when you're supposed to, then this is gonna continue happening. I'm not any better. I get home at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes and like eat something before bed, which is like one of the biggest things you're not supposed to do.
It's the first thing I do is my sleep schedule's so whack. I still get 8 hours, but I wake up like really late in the day, and then like lunch is my breakfast, and then dinner is my lunch, and then dinner is like midnight snack, but it's like
there you go,
a 2-course meal. So that's
your parents get up, you're just smoking a rib steak.
Yeah.
You fired up the barbecue in the backyard.
Grabbed one of you started making a pizza, like a whole ass, making the dough and all that, you know.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay, so let's move on, since I think we've covered everything to do. Well, not everything, but the big stuff that's happened recently and before the dreaded medical. It's actually a medical condition.
Really?
Called sleep paralysis. But you know what? I'm gonna bury it until it happens next. Yeah. Let's move on to something very interesting that I may have mentioned before, called vision dreams, because I've never had one of these. And if I did, I don't remember it at all. And you have many times. I have them
constantly.
Let me set the stage for a second. I was at the mall with you and Naweed. Mm-hmm. Was it Naweed?
Yeah. It was Naweed.
It was Best Buy.
We were over by the pianos.
We're by the piano that got taken away because we kept jacking around on it. And you say to me, vision dream. And I was like, what do you say? I had no idea. And so, but you pulled us over. And
then I started walking away.
To a different aisle.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice anything. I just kept talking to Naweed, and you were like, dude, just listen to me for a second.
Yeah.
So, explain that.
So basically what happens is, sometimes it's never like the next day or something like that. I'll have a dream. It'll last about, 3 seconds of memory, but I won't remember it the next day. Yeah. And basically what happens is I will, at a certain moment in time, and any time, I could have a dream like 10 years ago come back tomorrow.
And something could happen now.
Yeah, exactly. It does not matter when the dream occurred, but it will happen in real life. And it's very, 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 very strange. And I really don't like it. So anyway, sometimes I do, and I'll explain more on that. Basically what happens is I'll dream it, and then it'll happen. It'll happen in real life. But it'll only be about a 3 second, just 3 seconds of my life.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll just get this overwhelming fear of deja vu and dread and stress. And the first thing that I'll do is I will look at what the situation is.
Yeah.
And if there is something bad that's going to happen. So in the past, I have saved myself from falling off a cliff. I've saved myself from getting hit by a car.
Right. Yeah.
And countless other things as well. Like just in these moments of deja vu that will hit me, and it'll make me stop. And basically in the dreams, I will have a thing that kind of like, I don't know, it'll happen, and it could either be bad or it can be good. And in that time, I can, in the time that it happens in real life,
yeah,
I can change it to either be what it was. I can just let it ride. Yeah. Or I can change it so that it's no longer bad, it's good. So that's what happened with like the almost getting hit by a car, almost falling off a cliff, that kind of thing. So anyway, at the mall, I don't know if it was a bad one. I don't think it was. I think it was just a moment that kind of
Seemed off.
yeah seemed off, but it really wasn't. There was just a guy walking towards us, and in my dream, I feel like in that moment of deja vu, I was like, he's bad. He's a bad guy. So
Right.
anyway,
And you know what? And the crazy thing is, you could have had this dream when you were 2 years old.
oh yeah,
This
no, I
is
don't
crazy.
even know. I don't even remember when this dream happened. I still remember the exact moment that it happened in real life.
Yeah.
But I do not remember when the dream actually happened, because it could have been when I was 5 years old.
Right.
It happened now.
That is
Right?
nuts. That
It's
is
crazy.
mind melting, man. And you know what? And you said that we were like, there was a TV right across from us, and
Yeah.
you said the thing that triggered
was
the
the
memory to
katana.
come back was there was this katana on the TV, and there was like a circle
Yeah.
that like ring the handle of the katana or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
And
And you're
there's
like, oh shit.
I was like, oh shit, and I looked behind me, and that's where the guy was.
Ah.
And I was like, we're out. We're
Oh
leaving
my God.
right now. So anyway, I just pulled him over, and we just ran. Like, we walked very, very fast.
I didn't know what was going on.
No.
You just said you just pulled us
Said,
over.
We're going,
Yeah.
and we did. So anyway, that's what tipped me off. There's just certain things that'll happen, and it'll just hit me in the head like there's something about to happen.
Yeah.
Whether it be good or bad, I don't know, but there's something that's gonna happen, and you need to like not be here right now.
And are you completely sure that this stems from dreams?
Yes, absolutely. It's only when I sleep. It's the only time I ever get that is when I sleep, and then I'll just have that moment of deja vu in the future. That will. I think the shortest time. That like I can't exactly remember, but I remember that it was only 3 days apart, the dream and the actual thing. It was around 3 days, because I don't exactly know when. So
It just
could've
seems
been
like
2.
it was.
Yeah, it seems like it was about 2 days. It was very, very close together. That the vision dream happened. I used to have them a lot more when I was younger than I do now, but I still have them every once in a while. I guess it's kind of like a bank that I've stored up.
It's like a vault of horrifying
exactly
shite. Yeah. Wow. And you know, I don't know whether I want to have this or not. What do you like more, or what do you dislike more, that or sleep paralysis?
Sleep paralysis sucks ass.
Yeah, there's just nothing good about
No.
it. Some people are like, "Oh, I enjoy it." How?
Well,
I don't
it's-
understand that.
I understand that lucid dreaming would be very, very fun.
And I've never had a lucid
Me
dream.
neither.
What is this?
I mean, you can try it. You can make yourself do it.
Yeah, and people
But-
say you can turn sleep paralysis into a lucid dream.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bother with that.
No,
I'm
just gonna leave it. Honestly, when it happens, I'm just gonna keep my eyes shut. I'm just not gonna.
Yeah,
do
keep your eyes freaking shut, people. And also, here we go. Never, if you're prone to sleep paralysis, don't listen to sleep music. You know why? Because I think this may have been the second time I went through this in like the past few months. This is one of the stories I left out because it's not that interesting. But basically what happened was I was falling asleep to just ambient sleep music.
that.
Like just a woman singing, maybe some
Oh.
raindrops.
Oh, so like you know, like whale calls, that kind of thing. Like
Something you'd hear in a
soothing-
spa, soothing
Okay.
music. Because I can't fall asleep after work usually, even if I'm absolutely drained. I'll just stay awake, and it's the most annoying thing ever. Sleep music really does help, and I don't know what it is. It's just it makes me fall asleep without even knowing it.
Yeah.
But when I woke up and I couldn't move, for some reason the sleep music was distorted.
Still going.
It was distorted, so it sounded like the woman's voice, but it sounded like a pitch down.
Oh, really?
And like skippy and glitchy and weird.
Yeah.
That made me
Ugh.
sweat. It made me sweat, and I was like, "Oh God, just stay, just don't do anything. Just
Yeah.
Just
'cause
wiggle.
That would have been
wiggle your
horrible.
tongue, wiggle your something." And I was afraid, like, I don't know, if I had woken up and I hadn't heard anything, I would have been like, all right, just stay calm here. But when I woke up immediately, something was
Something was off.
super off, and something immediately made me go into a panic state.
Yeah.
And the last thing I remember before waking up is I was afraid a car was going to come into my room. See, this is how you know I'm not lying, because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, you remember, what's the Stephen King movie? Christine?
Yeah.
Christine, the haunted sentient car?
Yeah.
If I was afraid if I opened my eyes, I would see a car in front of me.
That's
Why? Why that? I haven't watched that movie since I was like 6.
That's hilarious.
Sleep's weird, man. Sleep sometimes sucks, but you know what?
You need it. You can't live without it. So
apparently, it's the most someone's ever gone without sleep was like 10 days.
Well, there's the Russian sleep experiment too.
That's probably what it was. Oh, the Russian sleep experiment.
That
you
was
mean
like
the video
and
with the thumbnail with the crazy like decaying zombie?
Yeah, I believe it. If I'm correct, that was real.
Okay, I never watched it because I was like, I'm not gonna be one of the people who watched it.
The Russian sleep experiment, the actual story, I think was written by a Russian guy. I gotta look this up in just 1 second.
Because I've seen that thumbnail and I know it has like 112 million views or something crazy like that, and for some reason I just had like a desire not to be part of that group. I was like, I'm not gonna get sucked into that. Plus, I do get easily sucked into like YouTube holes like that.
It was based on an urban legend.
So it's like a creepypasta.
Yes. But I feel like the Russians in that time would more than likely have actually conducted this. That's a hot take. It's my opinion. But I feel like at the point that they were at in the wars, they more than likely did it. I don't think they would have turned them into like zombie creatures or whatever the fuck the story says.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, they said they turned them into that. But I feel like it's not so much that. It's more like it turned them into people that were like so sleep deprived that they had that zombie mentality. And the fact that they didn't feed them, they fed them, but only like in very small amounts, nothing crazy. And then towards the end, they were starving them. I feel like that's a very easy possibility for them to do.
Wow.
And just all they needed was the gas that they used in the chamber, a little bit of food and water, and then just people in a room. That's all it took.
Wow.
So I feel like that probably would have happened. And it is actually a study. It's the study of sleep, right? Of what happens when you don't sleep for so long.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to you? You don't turn into a zombie creature.
Well, I think that was all greatly exaggerated.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I feel like it probably happened, but it was just kind of like,
it's probably like a game of telephone, where it's like
a
story happened and then it went through like a million people who wanted to create like some horror story about it, even though it was probably quite gruesome and cruel.
Yeah.
Anyway, so well, you know what? I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Sounds good to me.
I don't know. Did this Pepsi make me tired? No, that doesn't happen.
No.
I'm drained now. I don't know why. I feel like sleeping, but I'm not gonna sleep right now. Hell no.
No.
I ain't gonna sleep for a while. So, people, in the comments, if you're listening to this and you have any stories about sleep paralysis or vision dreams or night terrors or anything, please type them in the comments. I want to read all of it.
I only know 3 other people in my entire life that actually have had vision dreams. My brothers only had a couple.
Yeah.
That I know of, and then I got a distant relative that avoided death by not going up in a car to a ski hill that then got crushed by a boulder. So
so some Final Destination stuff right
her
there.
Entire family in the car, and it killed all of them with the boulder, and she had that feeling of deja vu where she said, "I'm not going," And then that happened, and she survived because of it. So
Her family survived, I'm guessing, as well. No,
killed everybody in
what?
the car.
Okay, what? Okay.
Yeah, it's in Germany.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is in your family lineage.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's what
Christ.
I mean. Is that's like a very real thing that has happened before. My brother saved us once in our truck when we almost hit a truck full of gas, and my brother said stop, and then we did, and then a tanker truck full of gas drove right by that my dad almost hit. So
wow.
Yeah.
So if anyone has stories about that,
yes, please let me know. It's different.
Sound off in the comments, because I like reading about all this stuff, mostly because it gives me something to relate to.
Yeah.
And
especially for me, because I don't even know anybody else besides two people.
Right. Anyway. All right. So, and also subscribe, like, share. Check out Vancouver Reclaim. Check out all this. Check out all that. And I'll see you guys next time in the loop.
Yeah.